Hello. This begins the first step for Project 2. We're going to start with the same file that we had just finished up. So this is all my Sharp optimal portfolio, my minimum variance portfolio, my targeted beta, all the returns data, returns by individual stock, my year-to-date returns, year-to-date evaluation. So the first thing that we need to do to start the second project is to get the Fama and French three-factor data based on monthly. So come over here to returns. We got monthly returns here. We're starting in January 2009, and we're going through December of 2013. So and the reason we're doing this second project is the first one is based on only historical data, and therefore it implicitly assumes that whatever happened in the past is going to happen in the future. The second methodology makes an adjustment for future returns, and it also improves the estimation. There's been empirical studies that show that the second method over the long run tends to give better performance than just the straight historical calculation. Okay. So getting the Fama and French three-factor data. Open your browser up and just Google Ken French. This is Dr. French's website. We'll click on that one and we'll click on the data library. And this data, what we're looking for is the Fama and French three-factor. And this particular model is used quite extensively in the market. There's been some adjustments to it. There's a 4-factor and a 5-factor model, but we're just going to do the basic 3-factor model. I click on this, and it's going to ask me to download this zip file. And I'm going to go ahead and put it on my jump drive, just right where my project is. Alright, the file has been downloaded. Here's the Fama and French three-factor model. You should be able to right-click on that, and either a 7-zip or 1-zip will be there, and we just want to extract it here. And what comes out is this basic text file. Double-click on that to open it. Now we want to import this into Excel. So what we want to do is get rid of this information in the top line. And then we don't need 1926 data, we need to go to January 2009. That's the first one. We'll just drag down. Here we are, January of 2009. So everything before that, I'm going to delete. And our next thing we're going to do is we want to go through 2013, so all the 2014 data. And this is annual factors that come into play, and then the copyright at the end. We want to go ahead and delete. So this is our Fama and French three-factor data that we're interested in. We're just going to go ahead and save the file now. We've got our headers in there. We can add an additional header if we want to, YMD for year, month, day. And go ahead and save the file. Now we come back to our Excel spreadsheet. In the creation process of your data, of your original Excel spreadsheet, this three-factor data sheet was incorporated. So I'll just click on that tab. We're going to come into data, and we're going to import data, which is get external data from a text file. Jump over to the path that we're interested in, and there's my Fama and French data, and I'm going to click on import. So you got a choice of whether it's delimited. Delimited means there's commas or tabs in there. This file is a fixed width, and Excel will usually be able to figure out which one of these guys are. So I'll just hit next, and we have all of our data lined up. Sometimes Excel has a problem. Usually it's just giving you an idea of where the breakpoints are. If you have a problem with a particular breakpoint, you can drag and move. This looks good, so we're just going to go next again. And it's asking me about the YMD. Do I want it to be a general, a text, a date? We're just going to leave it as general. And we're going to start an insert here at number 1 and go ahead and click OK. Alright, so we've been able to import our data. This is a marketable skill for Excel, knowing how to import external data sets into Excel so that you can do data processing. Our next step, just to highlight this is 8.2%. And if we look at our return data, it's in decimal. So this is minus 6%, but it's 0.06. So we need to make sure that the data aligns up correctly. So in this case, we're going to say that this is equal to, and we'll click on our first one and just divide it by 100. So that gets me into decimal percentage points, and I'll drag that out so that we have everything in decimal percentage points. Go down real quick. Last line is 61. Current line is number 2, and I end in K. So I'm going to go H2 colon K62. That's going to highlight everything that we're interested in. Come back to the home button and just do a fill down. So you can drag it down if you want, which means you just would highlight this first column and go ahead and do the drag. I think in general it's better to do it with this previous process. So just to highlight it one more time, I know I've done it in the last video, but it's H2 colon K62, and then we fill down. And apparently I went over what I wanted to do. No problem. Alright, so that's a pretty good setup. Now, in the Fama and French methodology, we need to take the return from a particular stock, and we need to subtract that from the risk-free rate. So we don't run this return, we run this return minus the risk-free rate associated with it. And there's a couple of ways to do this. One way would be just to come to our Returns tab. We're just going to create our Fama data over here. And we have our MMDD HD, Control C, Control V. I don't need market data at this point. And then so our return is going to simply be equal to the return that's there minus, and we go to our three-factor data and select the risk-free rate. And then we want to be able to drag this over, so I'm going to hit F4 here real quick. That locks that in. And this little tab here will let me move over and back. I can drag that across. So that's good. Now if I drag it down, my K2 is going to change. And what I want to have happen is that the K2 adjusts as we go down. So I'm just going to come back through and F4, F4, and F4 to pull that off. Make sure you hit return between each one. And then we want to do our fill down again. So we're just going to highlight that one. And it's P3 colon, now we're going to be at T. And I'm just going to put 65. Going past doesn't really matter. And then we're going to go ahead and fill down. So now I have all my three-factor return data set up. And I've got some empty spots over here, so I'm going to delete those. So that's it. We've got our three-factor data completely set up. And the next step we're going to do is a series of Fama and French three-factor regressions. In order to do the three-factor regressions, we need to have the data analysis pack included. Just to show once again how to add it, we'll go under File, Options, Add-ins, and then click Go and check everybody. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save this file off, and that ends step 1 of the multi-factor portfolio formation project. Thank you very much.